welcome to another installment of Commander Deck Techs. We're doing Miirym Sentinel Wyrm. This is MTG Friends here. I believe this was a Commander pre-con, and it's just too good to pass over. So Miirym Sentinel Wyrm, it's a flying with Ward 2, just means that your opponent has to pay 2 to target it. Whenever another non-token dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a token that's a copy of it, except the token isn't legendary if that dragon is legendary. Everything about this is great. 3 colorless, green, blue, red. Even the amount of mana it costs is totally fine with me. All right, so let's check this out. What do we got? Well, guess what? We're going to be doing Dragon Tribal because why the hell wouldn't we do Dragon Tribal with this Sentinel Wyrm shenanigans? All right, we got our land package, which is basically the most boring part of it. We're in 3 colors, so therefore we're going to run the Triome. We're going to run everything you would expect. The shocks, the fetches, whatever. You got it. Just 2 counter spells in this because we are in blue to just keep the tide from turning too horrifyingly in a pinch. We got some dragon support. Dragon support, as you would expect what that means. We got 1 planeswalker in here, which is actually, do we call it dragon support? We're just going to leave it at that category. Whatever. We got a bunch of dragons. And of course, if you look through these dragons and you go, oh, I'd rather see so-and-so dragon in here, just swap it out. I'll mention the ones that I don't think you should swap out that are just way too good to be in there. Heroic Intervention, Swiftfoot Boots for a couple protection pieces. A good amount of ramp because, as we all know, most dragons cost a shit ton. Yes, indeed. And then we have some other ways to reduce those costs and that kind of stuff. We got, Cyclonic Rift in here because, after all, we are in blue, and the best asshole card for blue is Cyclonic Rift. Okay, maybe not the best, but it's definitely up there. Do you agree? A fair amount of draw, a few tutors, the tutors you'd expect to see. I totally forgot the Sylvan tutor even existed. I put it in here. You could absolutely swap it out if you don't want to have it in there. Okay, so let's get to it. What does Architect want us to go through first? Apparently counterspells. Now, these are just thrown in here, like I said, for in a pinch be able to counter a massive board wipe or spot removal or something that's going to win somebody the game, like, oh, I don't know, casting Second Sun for the second time, although it's cast, isn't it? Still gonna cast it. Anyways, I digress. Wow, that was very, very niche and specific. Negate, counter spell, as well as negate. There you go. You can easily swap those 2 out if you don't play in groups that you really need to have a pinch counter spell. This is absolutely not a counter spell deck. Those are the only 2 in here, but you could tutor one up if you really need it. All right, so we are in Dragon Support. Enchantment, Crucible of Fire, dragon creatures you control get +3/+3. Now, the funny thing about this one is most of these dragons are huge anyways, so if you're just not feeling this card, then axe it, yo. Axe it. Because giving a dragon +3/+3 is cool, but if they're already like a 5/7 or a 4/9 or a 6/6, this card might not be that spicy for you. You can certainly swap it out if you have something else that would make you tingle just a little bit more. Dragon Tempest for 2. Whenever a creature with flying enters the battlefield under your control, it gains haste until end of turn. Yes, thank you very much. We're definitely keeping this one in there. Whenever a dragon enters the battlefield under your control, it deals X damage to target creature or player, which is so fabuloso. Where X is the number of dragons you control. Ping, 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 till the cows come home. Dragon Master Outcast. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you got 6 or more lands, you get a 5/5 dragon for your troubles. That's right, buddy. And because of our commander, just keep in mind this is a token. Token, man. It's a token. All right, Dragon Speaker Shaman. Dragon spells cost 2 less. Dragon Tribal? Yes, please. Kindred Summons. We all know what Kindred Summons does, right? Maybe you don't. For 7. Instant Speed. That means at the end of your opponent's turn, right before you, if you can pull it off. Choose a creature type, dragons. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X creature cards of the chosen type, where X is the number of creatures you control of that type. Put that many onto the battlefield, then shuffle. So this is just an absolute must. If you're in green and you're in tribal, put Kindred Summons in there. I don't care what you're running. If they're tribal, Kindred Summons is for you. It is for you. All right, Corlessa, Scale, Singer, Dragon. Yeah, buddy. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast dragon spells from the top of your library. And we are running a shizzle ton of dragons, so yes, we're having that for sure. Renari, and I think that might have been in the precon. I don't remember. Renari, Merchant of Marvels. You may cast dragon spells as and artifacts, as if doing the dragons was enough, and artifact spells as though they had flash. The background doesn't matter in this particular instance. We're running all of the ancient dragons in our colors. Ancient bronze dragon, flying. When it deals combat damage, you roll a d20. What? I'm not a fan of the rolling dice thing, but whatever. When you do, put X1/1 counters on each of up to 2 target creatures where X is the result. So it's awesome if it's high. It's kind of lame if it's not. But whatevs. It's also a 7/7 flying dragon. So worst case scenario is you got somebody to beat somebody's face with. Beat them in the face. Ancient copper dragon, the red one. Roll again. It only costs 6 this time, though. You create a number of treasure tokens equal to the result. Fabulous. I like this one slightly better than the green one. Ancient silver dragon for 7. An 8/8 flyer. Oh, man, that's gigantic. Whenever 8, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, an 8 drop for 8. Plus it does cool stuff. You roll again. Draw cards equal to the result. You have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. Take a moment, pause there, and let that sink in. Ridiculous. That's just a ridiculous. Reliquary Tower built into a 7/7 or an 8/8 dragon that does card draw. Bananas. Easily countered. Against counter decks, but whatever. Atarka World Render for 7. 6/4 flying trample. Whenever dragon you control attacks against double strike until end turn. I mean, yeah, these just explain themselves. I just read the card and you go, yes, I understand why you have that in there. Balefire Dragon, dude, I got the promo. I got the box topper of this. Almost didn't come out, folks. My words almost failed me. For 7, whenever it deals combat damage to a player, it deals that much damage to each creature that player controls. Dragon Lord Servant. We're in Dragon Sport. Dragon spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Yes, sir. Wait, were we already in Dragon Sport? I don't know what the hell is happening. That should be somewhere else in this video. You know what? Let's check that out together. Dragon Support. You see the Dragon Support? Yeah, Dragon Support's right there. What the hell? What the hell's going on here? Balefire. We just did Balefire. I don't know. Archdeck is screwing with me. So anyways, Dragon's Lord Servant should be in support. I don't know if a refresh is needed, whatever. Moving on. Dragaseth, Maw of Flames. Totally swappable card is in here because it's hilarious. Whenever Maw of Flames attacks, deals 4 damage to any target and 3 damage to 2 others. Why couldn't they just say it that instead of some long, giant sentence? Earthquake Dragon. Oh, and by the way, this one, Dragaseth can easily be swappable for something else of your choosing. If you don't like that dragon, if you don't like it, don't play it. Earthquake Dragon for 15, which is ridiculous, but this spell costs X less to cast, where X is the total mana value of dragons you control. Oh, well, we're in Dragon Tribal, so yes, flying trample for 3, sacrifice land, return Earthquake Dragon from a graveyard to your hand. You're probably not going to be sacking a land to put it in your hand, but who knows, man? Who knows, man? Furyborn Hellkite for a lot of mana. Bloodthirst 6 just means if you smack somebody in the face, it comes in with 6/1/1 counters after said fact. And it's a flyer. So it could be a 12/12 if you play it correctly. Goldspan Dragon. As of this recording, this is an obnoxious card. And is it? Is it obnoxious? Yes, it is. It is. And is it? Goldspan Dragon for 5 flying haste. Whenever Goldspan Dragon attacks or becomes a target of a spell, you get a treasure token. And those tokens tap for 2 instead of 1 if Goldspan Dragon's in play. If that wasn't clear to you and you haven't played the crap out of this card, it's a ridiculous dragon card and you must play it. You must, I say. Hellkite Tyrant for 6. Flying Trample. Whenever it smacks a player in the face, you gain control of all artifacts that player controls. What an a-hole card. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 20 more artifacts, you are a big wiener. A big wiener. Limrith Desert Storm. A weaker dragon, but it's still pretty damn good for 5 flying. Imrith Desert Doom has ward 4. They have to pay 4 to target it. That's so ridiculous. As long as it's untapped, which, whatever. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Then if you have fewer than 3 cards in hand, draw cards equal to the difference. Totally swappable card. Good dragon, though. It made the cut for me. Does it make the cut for you? I don't know. Yugen defends the temple. Create a 1/1 monk. Ramp. Put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Who gives a rip about that, really? Exile it and then return it to the battlefield under your control. It's 2/2. And then is it going to show us the alt side of this? Does it show us? Yes. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay X when you do, and this is the only reason it's in here, besides being a dragon. Put X 1/1 counters on that creature. As long as you control 5 or more modified creatures, it gets +5/+5 and has trample. So there's all sorts of shenanigans going on the flip side of this. But this beginning part is pretty cool, especially if you get this early in the game. And then if you don't get in early in the game, it just turns into a giant dragon, indubitably. Kairi, the Swirling Sky, maybe said that right. This is out of Kamigawa, one of my favorite sets as of recently, as of this recording. Flying, Ward 3. We have a surprisingly large amount of dragons with Ward. Whatever, I'm kind of noticing that right now. When it dies, choose 1. Return any number of target non-land permanents with total mana value 6 or less to their owner's hand. Very great if you don't have cards in your hand. Or mill 6 cards, then return up to 2 instant and or sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. Probably going to do the first of those, but who knows? If you got Rift in your graveyard and you want to bring it back, I don't know. Oh, man. Versatility, man. That's what it's all about, yo. Kura, the Boundless Sky. Like I said, I did definitely like Kamigawa block, and I definitely did like the dragons in this. Flying Death Touch. When it dies, choose 1. You can search your library for up to 3 lands. Put them in your hand, then shuffle. Or create an XX green spirit creature token. I'm in the spirit world, where X is the number of lands you control. I just channeled my brother right there. Laughless Dragon Queen for 6. 6, y'all. It's 6. I don't know why I decided to dwell on the fact that it costs 6. It's a 6/6/6. Ha! The number of the beast. Whenever another non-token dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. For 2. Dragons you control get +1 until end of turn. Nesting Dragon. I really like this dragon because if you have a board wipe, you still got stuff. I suppose unless you have a mass exile like Farewell or something. But other than that kind of shenanigans. Flying Landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, create a 0/2 red dragon creature token. Egg creature token with Defender. And when this creature dies, create a 2/2 red dragon creature token with flying. And for 1 red, this creature gets +1 until end of turn. So just a fabulous dragon that does shenanigans, and then a board wipe or spot removal. Nah, mostly board wipe. All suddenly you have a bunch of dragons that you can smack a bitch with. Old Gnawbone. I mean, if you're running dragons and you're in green, Old Gnawbone is a must. It just is. It just is, folks. It just is. For 7, a 7/7 flying that it doesn't even have to hit itself. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, create that many treasure tokens. Ridiculous. The only thing that sucks about Old Gnawbone is if somebody steals it from you and then smacks you in the face with creatures they have. I've had that traumatic experience happen to myself. So, I speak with experience, y'all. Scourge of Carriages for 7. This is why we have a good amount of ramp in this flipping deck. Because all these dragons are goddamn expensive. Scourge of Carriages, dragon flying for 2. Deals 2 damage to each creature without flying. Yeah, you tribal elf bastards. And for 6, deals 6 damage to each other creature with flying. You're probably going to do the for 2. And just remember, it says for 2, that means you could do 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? 8 damage in your face, 10 damage in your face, not your face, but on the board for non-flyers. I mean, this thing can really help out in a pinch. I think I've said in a pinch like 4 times in this episode. Scourge of Valkus for 2 red rom. Dragon flying whenever it or another dragon enters the battlefield under your control. It deals X damage to any target or X number of dragons you control. Yeah. And for red, it gets +1 on turn. So there you go. Dragons that do dragony things. Dethrone is a weird one. This is a weird one. Okay. Dethrone. Whenever this creature attacks the player with the most life or tied for the most life, put a 1/1 counter on it. Got that one? Is that one clear? That's really not why we're playing it, though. Whenever Scourge of the Throne attacks for the first time each turn, if it's attacking the player with the most life or tied for the most life, untap all attacking creatures after this phase. There's an additional combat phase. Smack them bitches, then smack them again. What? That wins games, man. That wins games. Terror of Mount Velis for 7. Not very many low mana costing dragons in this fun little world of ours. Flying double strike if it wasn't badass enough. Whenever it enters the battlefield, creatures you control also gain double strike until end of turn. Double strike, yes. Who doesn't love double strike when you're hitting them? I hate double strike when they're hitting me. Terror of the Peaks for 5. Oh, a low costing dragon? Say it ain't so. Spells your opponent cast that target Terror of the Peaks costing an additional 3 life to cast. Sort of a ward thing going on there. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. What an a-hole second part of Terror of the Peaks, which is why it's a badass card. Thrakus the Butcher, a dragon that's... I don't think he flies. I don't think he has wings. No, he doesn't have wings. He don't fly either. He's got trample, though. A dragon with trample. That's kind of funny. Whenever Thrakus the Butcher attacks, double the power of each dragon you control until end of turn, which is why we're running this uncommon. That's right. Utvara Hellkite. I think this dragon is German. Flying. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, create a 6/6 red dragon creature token with flying. I would just like to say that I've lived in Germany, I speak fluent German, and I have heard a total of 0 Germans speak like that. Except for Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he really doesn't even talk like that. And he's from Austria! Technically not Germany. So, we must move on! Wir müssen moving on! Okay, Wrathful Red Dragon for 5. Oh, another low-costing dragon. Yay! Yay! Oklahoma! Flying whenever dragon you control is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any target that isn't a dragon. Oh, dragons that do dragony things. Yes, indeed. This one is a very old dragon. From Mirage. I don't think this has ever been reprinted. No, it has not. For 3, search your library for a dragon card and put it into play as though it were just played. Shuffle your library afterward. That creature's unaffected by summoning sickness. Remove the creature from the game at the end of any turn. Such a weird way of writing that at the end. You can tell it's old by that. So this is one of those things where you need to go get a dragon, smack a bitch, get some ETBs, get some stuff off of smacking them in the face. This is perfect for that. It's on the fence for whether you play this one. So if you don't have it, you have another dragon, swap it in. I like it. I think it synergizes wonderfully. I play it. Dragon Horde. All right, we're into draw, folks. Whenever a dragon enters the battlefield under your control, put a gold counter on Dragon Horde. Remove a gold counter from Dragon Horde, draw a card. And, of course, immediately you can tap and add 1 mana of any color. And we are in 3 colors, so this is very helpful. And notice it says when a dragon enters the battlefield, ETBs. You don't have to cast it. So all those tokens that hit also puts a horde counter on this. Dragonborn Champion for 4. Trample, Dragon Warrior. Whenever a source you control deals 5 or more damage to a player, draw a card. There's a real good chance you're going to be drawing a card out of it. Garruk's Uprising. We got big beefy dragons. So this is a awesome beefcake card. Whenever Garruk's Uprising enters the battlefield, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. That is most likely going to happen. Creatures you control have trample. Also awesome. And then on top of that, whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a mother effing card. Bitches. Kindred Discovery, we're in blue, so we're playing this. And I like the original artwork of this so much better. Yeah, I like that better. As Kindred Discovery enters the battlefield, choose a creature type dragons. Whenever a creature you control of the chosen type enters the battlefield or attacks, draw a card. That includes tokens. Tokens, yo. Turn to the Wild Speaker, draw. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among non-human creatures you control. We don't care about the +3/+3 non-human things, most likely. Rhystic Study. Who doesn't love to play Rhystic Study in blue? Who doesn't hate to play against Rhystic Study against blue? Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may draw a card unless the player pays 1. Such an a-hole card. Sylvan Library. You draw 3. You pay 8 for 2. Do I need to read through this? If you've seen any of my green episodes, you know that Sylvan Library is almost an auto-include. Almost an auto-include. To mirror Ascendancy because it's in our colors and we want some fun shenanigans with haste. Creatures you control have haste. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, you draw a card. Draw. All right, land. I don't even feel like going through the land. You know what? We're not going through the land. You can check it out. We're in 3 colors. We're playing the Triome in this color, Command Tower. Well, we're actually playing Cavern of Souls because we're doing tribal and we don't want our shizzle countered. We're running the shock lands in our colors. We're running the fetch lands in our colors. And we're running the, if you have an addition. Oh, if you have 2 or more lands in our colors. All the dual lands you would expect to see. Blood Moon might really hose you, but we're in red too, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, yo. And that's a very niche specific thing. All right, so land. We just shaved like 10 minutes off of this episode, yo. You're welcome. You're welcome. Now I'm going to get something in the comments. Why didn't you go through the lands, man? I'm so confused, dude. Dude. I'm the dude. Dude. Oh, man. In The Big Lebowski, isn't it hilarious how, like, basically most of the movie is about a carpet that gets pissed on? I just think that's funny. All right. Sarkhan Unbroken for 5. It's uptick, draw a card, then add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Yeah, whatever. -2, put a 4/4 red dragon creature token flying on the battlefield. Boom! And -8, search your library for any number of dragon creature cards and put them onto the battlefield. That is just a ridiculous ultimate. That's really why I have it in here, because I think that's hilarious. And plus, it gives us a little bit of ramp. If you're not feeling this one, if you're just not feeling it, this is another highly swappable card. Fashizzle. Nanizzle in the babizzle. A couple of proc cards, Heroic Intervention, Permanence Control, Hexproof, and Indestructible end of turn. The only thing this doesn't help with is mass exile like Farewell. Can you tell by me mentioning Farewell twice in this episode that it's a highly played card in my Playgroups? Frickin' Farewell. I play Farewell in any white deck I have now too. So, yep. Exile the shizzle out of everything. Swiftfoot Boots. What? Equipped creature has hexproof and haste. And actually, you could play the other boots too, I suppose. I don't think we're running any equipment. So yeah, you could, man. All right, ramp till the cows come home. Arcane Signet, Bell-based Portal, technically not ramp. Comes into play, you choose dragons, and for 3 tap, put a creature card of the chosen type from your hand into play. Hell yeah, it costs 5, and then you can start doing that. That's damn funny, bitches. Damn funny. I keep calling you bitches a lot. Chromatic Lantern, lands you control have, add 1 mana of any color. We're running this because we're running 3 colors. Cultivate. Some of my buds don't like Cultivate because it costs 3 to get 2 lands, but whatevs. I like Cultivate. They like, 3 visits and things that cost 2. And I understand their argument, but you know what? I really like Cultivate. Search for 2 cards. Basic lands, reveal them, put 1 on the battlefield and 1 in your hand. Growth Spiral, we are in green-blue. Draw a card, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. This is at instant speed, so you can do this at the end of your opponent's turn. Herald's Horn, because we're in tribal, this is a tribal card. Creatures that are the chosen type cost 1 less to cast, and at the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top of your library. If it's a creature of the chosen type, you can reveal it and put it in your hand. Nature's Lore, search the library for force card, put it on the battlefield. Shuffle, and it's untapped, by the way. Oracle of Moldiah, you can play 2 lands a turn. You can play lands off the top of your deck. You can rip them off the top. Sky Shroud Claim, one of my favorite ramp cards in green. Search the library for up to 2 force cards. Remember, Triomes was searchable that way, and the Shock lands. So right on to the break of dawn. And they come in untapped. Well, a Triome wouldn't because it comes in tapped regardless. Soul Ring, boom, we know what that is. We all know what that is. And the Great Henge, of course, because we are playing beefy big dragons. So why the hell wouldn't we play the Great Henge in green? We would. Of course, we would. Always play the Great Henge with beefy cards, or beefy creatures. Spell costs X less to cast where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Just have to do a little bit of math. Just a little bit of math. Add 2 green, gain 2 life. And whenever non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on it and draw a card. Such a ridiculous card. You know, when I was drafting the Great Henge, like this set, people were passing the Great Henge, and I would pick it up every single time. I think I got like 5 Great Henges while drafting this set. I mean, just ridiculous. People didn't want them. I don't know. It didn't win games directly, but it definitely helped, yo. Definitely helped. 3 visits, search your library for a force card, put that card on the battlefield, then shuffle. People, including me, love 3 visits. And thank goodness it got reprinted. Urza's Incubator for 3. When it comes into the battlefield, choose type. Yep, tribal card. Creature spells of the chosen type cost 2 less to cast. Tasty Vittles. Tasty Vittles. Cyclonic Rift. So if you're in blue and you didn't play anything on your turn and you have at least 7 open, everybody knows you're holding Cyclonic Rift. Everybody. And they will crack a joke about it. Return target non-land permanent you don't control to owner's hand. Overload 7. Boom. All your shit goes back to your hand, bitches. Mystical Tutor. To go fetch up your Cyclonic Rift. Search your library for an instant or sorcery card and reveal it. That's the only downside. You have to reveal it. Last time I played in Commander last Monday, I Mystical Tutored Rift. Had to show them. So they all knew I had it, and we just cracked jokes the whole time. Yep. Sylvan Tutor, I totally forgot this card existed. If you have a different tutor and you want to put in a different tutor in these colors, do it. Or if you don't have this and you don't want to go get it, just proxy it. Proxy. Search your deck for a summon creature and reveal that card to all players, and shuffle your deck and put the revealed card on top of it. Same thing as Worldly Tutor does the same thing. Cheaper financially. But yeah, it's just because this one might even be like reserve list. It's Portal. Yeah, it's Portal, Judgment, Masters. Yeah, Portal. That's why. It's a portal card. Whoa, man. What happened? What happened? Let's go find where we were. Worldly Tutor. Oh, we might be done, folks. I think we're done. Are we done? Nope. Yep, that's maybe board. I put Vanquisher's Banner in the maybe board because it is a solid card, but we don't really care about having a +1/+1 on dragons. We do like the draw aspect of this. So if there was a dragon you weren't feeling and you want that draw mechanic for Vanquisher's Banner, by all means, go with it, yo. And Earthquake didn't quite make the cut either. Deals X damage to each creature without flying and each player. I mean, if you want a mana sink or whatever, you could put in, but I just didn't think it was strong enough. So that's where we're at, folks. Miirym Sentinel Wyrm. Notice we already have like just ridiculously powerful dragons. On top of that, the mechanics of our commander lets us get 2 of them, and then we got some hasty Hastersons going on. So like I would say if you don't want to have the counter spells and there's like a couple other cards in here you weren't feeling quite right, then put in stuff like Fervor and Anger and things that give haste, additional hasty Hastersons, so that when we do cast our stuff that we just immediately smack them with a dragon that hopefully has a copy of a dragon that ETBs and does stuff when we're smacking them in the face and fun shizzle like that. So enjoy, have fun, rock on to the break of dawn. Thanks for checking us out. Rock on. I'm just going to keep saying rock on until you hit stop. Rock on, rock on. All right. Peace.